chicken burger for dinner. Made by Mystic Angel.
Yeah, well, you cooked them.
Well, yeah, I cooked them. You made them. Hear the train tonight, can't you?
Yeah, could even
Wind's
hear
blowing.
that ding ding. Sorry, I'm just put that volume sped up free for her on Marketplace. She's had 4 people inquire about it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
William's loft bed, he won't sleep on it, so she's getting rid of it.
Just getting a normal bed.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully cool weather for the rest of the week. So they'll put the capping on the papers on next Thursday. I'll be starting to pave next Thursday too.
Yeah, it's going pretty quick, isn't it?
Yep. Well, put your foot down.
Yeah.
Someone's chasing toilet paper. And we got toilet paper today. Was it yesterday?
Today.
Today, yeah. Woohoo! And Dave said he'd be here Tuesday. Not Monday. dusty out here and I have to mop it, I think.
Yeah. Hose it down.
Rough. Hello, Wolf Dad. Hope you're having a good day. We're exhausted. I filmed us live about an hour ago. We look like bush babies covered in dirt. Cleaned out the shed today, or most of it. And it was dusty and dirty. Yeah, good exhausted. And we might get a little bit of rain tonight. I'm not saying rain, I'm sort of like drizzle, or maybe not even drizzle, maybe just a drop or two. Threatened all day, it's been real humid today. But it's cooler tomorrow, 26. Finished the ramp today, just out here. I'll show you a bit later. And finished the timber window inside the office. What else did we do? Oh, move a heap of rubbish.
Just
Boxes.
like that's paved around there, because everything will have to sit around there till everything else is done.
Mm. The big white shed there being pulled apart next Wednesday. Yeah. Might be nearly night tonight.
Yeah.
Hello, Scarlett. Oh, she's here. She's just over there.
Yeah, just organising getting rid of a bed for my daughter, and then I'll be on
We put it on Gumtree.
marketplace.
Mm. Take some photos of those screens tomorrow. Put them on there as
Yeah.
well. I'll have to oil that frame outside of the door. Yeah, I don't mind them. They can be little ankle biters, eh? They get very sort of, this is my place. Rawr, 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 rawr. But not all of them are like that. Some are quite docile. Yeah, they're like companion. Most dogs don't think they're dogs, they think they're human. And when you say, right, don't sleep on your bed, they go, what? What are you talking about? That's my day bed. Nighttime, I sleep near your feet. Don't you get the message? Because if you have a dog, it's just like another member of the family. You wouldn't ask one of your grandkids to sleep in a day bed on the floor. Not too far away from now, we'll be getting a little dog of our own. Yeah, you sleep in the dog's bed. That's what it feels like sometimes when you go to sit on your chair and the dog looks at you and says, well, can you not see it's occupied? And where's my dinner? Spoiled, not much. But that's what you do with dogs. You involve them with you. Like we won't take dogs out in a car on a hot day. That's not going to happen. But when it's winter time and we go for a bit of a drive, the dogs like to jump in the car and say, where are we going? And what are we going to be eating? But we'll probably get little dogs, probably chihuahuas, more than likely. We've had them before. My daughter's got them. Our daughter's chihuahuas, one is, how old's Milo? 10 months?
Yeah.
And Benny's about a year and a bit. They'll have their noses out of joint. They'll come round here because they think they own the place here. And they go, well, who's this? What's this dog doing here? Oh, they do. Our old chihuahua used to say, brum brum. And she'd be like scanting around the house like a greyhound, get in the car, boom, straight up. And you had to pick up the car keys and it was like, where are we going? Like I say, I've seen a couple of terriers that are a bit savage, but most of them, you've got a real docile nature about them. You've had 4, wow. A couple of dogs is about our limit, I think. I like the idea of more than one dog because they keep each other company. And they'll fight, and they'll carry on like pork chops, but company they do keep. Of course, if we get a couple of puppies, we expect the odd mistake, as puppies do. It's a learning curve. Yeah, I like the chestnut ones actually. Fig. Should get another dog.
Jam.
Jam, yeah. Fig Jam. Fig Jam.
No, because we know what that stands for.
Yeah, one dog's okay if someone's home all the time. Or most of the time. But if you go out, see, dogs don't have a watch. And a single dog left at home thinks you've been gone for 5 years, even though you only been 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So where have you been?
Get a drink of water.
Sometimes what works is a dog and a cat. They can get on pretty well, and they'll have their moments, of course, but again, at least it's company. But the cat will go wherever it damn pleases. The dog is not going to jump on the side of the fence and sit there all day like the cat may do. And the dog is saying, how come I can't do that? Yeah, I've heard that too. Dogs like birds in the house, if you like that way. I don't like birds in a cage myself, but we don't have to because we've got birds everywhere. We this time of the year they all start coming back. All different parrots and different birds. Hello, Patty. Mrs. E's just gone inside for a sec. But the ramp was finished today. It's good, and they started on the side steps for the side entry. They'll be back next week to do a lot of paving. Yep, coming on, Scarlett. Like I say, we've got, the big job still is painting, skirting boards, carpet will be getting measured and quoted on Monday. Wife's already picked out a particular colour. So when the carpet goes in, we'll be able to put our beds in. Hot water system goes in Monday. So it all sort of, because everything's coming together near the end, it seems like a lot happens quickly, but that's not like the build, it takes time. Have a great day, Wolf Dad. It's been going on for a month here, Patty.
Yeah, a month for us.
It's the main people are fighting in supermarket aisles, literally fighting. It's just silly.
Do I hear a bee?
Yep, most of the supermarket shelves are nearly empty every day. I think people are going to hunker down for 2 years, not a month. We got to be. She says she loves those chairs. Yep, in fact, they put restrictions on. To give you an idea, if you do see toilet paper, if you're lucky enough, you can only buy 1 packet. But things like pasta, you can only buy 2 packets. There's all these things now that they're trying to stop people buying trolley loads. So if you go to the checkout with 4 packs of toilet paper, the lady says, no, you can't have any more, just 1. Even pasta sauce, I think it's 2 maximum. There's restrictions on everything. It's like rations. Like World War II's just reoccurred because people have been silly.
You're a bit taller than me.
What do you want me to do?
Just put him on that and put him sort of over there, something over there.
Yeah, but the light's on, he'll come back.
I'll just turn the light down a little bit.
Am I supposed to squish him or something?
No, just put him into the dustpan and then throw him over the side over there. Over that way, away.
He'll come back. All right.
Not too much.
I got the bee, and I threw him over the side. People don't like to kill him. And I put money to a brick, he'll be back in 2 minutes. Bee Rescue. New show on National Geographic. I will quickly show you the ramp that's finished. I don't know how much you'll see, it's a bit dark out here. that's the ramp that's been finished. Goes all the way down. We'll find inventive ways to do it. Hear the birds? They all start coming back this time of year. We'll get the magpies here usually for about another month from now. They sing all night, don't they?
Yeah.
Which is quite nice. And the kookaburras are becoming in force. Or corn cobs. But he's not back yet. Probably got a bit of a shock when I got the dustpan brush and swept him into the pan and held him down and flicked him over the fence. But at least it's a bee, which is good because the planet's losing far too many bees. Yes, that's definitely on the cards. Fruit trees and definitely a veggie garden. I'm going to build about 4 big garden, raised garden beds. Yes, we do.
Oh yeah, I did close the gate. Sorry, I think if I close the side gate. I just realised I
You could
did.
probably put the lock back on there anytime now.
And we,
The side gate.
I gotta find it. It's in the mess somewhere.
Moved heaps of boxes today. God knows what's in them. $1.79 here in Kentucky. Yes, it's the old supply and demand. There is no demand. They say here it'll go down to $1 a litre, which again won't mean much if you're not going anywhere. Yep, the old war of attrition. Saudi will produce it cheaper, Russia will produce it cheaper, and they'll have a trade war. Which means, there's a bit of a panic because they'll actually start selling below cost. $25 a barrel they're talking about. I think it cost them 28 to get out the ground. But like I say, the world just needs to hunker down, see this through, do our best, bake a lot, watch a lot of old movies, garden, there you go Scarlett. We'll promote victory gardens, beat the bugs, grow your own food. Yeah, the US could probably supply itself if the demand's down so low. Like I say, there are a lot of producers in the US of oil that certainly won't sell it below cost. They'll just stop the pump. Yeah, no, I think we're pretty good for seeds. I don't think anyone's rushed out to buy seeds, which shows this generation was not interested in growing anything. They just want to buy it. But you can grow a big garden in a short time if you're willing to do a little bit of work. Yeah, you'd be mad not to. Some people will, Scarlett. They'll go out with their 50-gallon drums or 55-gallon drums and they'll fill 10 up. But the thing is, you must use gas within a certain time frame or it loses its value. In other words, it can be inefficient. Diesel, however, yeah, that'll last a while. Hello, Buttercup. Well, the ramp's finished, Buttercup. The bedroom window, which we spent probably 12 hours on taking bits and pieces and repairing, that's now a timber feature window in the office. Halfway through, we thought, what are we doing? Are we mad?
It's just going to look a bit different to the other two from the inside. I think it'll be fine.
Oh, I only did it because it came up pretty good.
Yeah, it makes it, doesn't it? It was so good having that ramp, moving the boxes today.
Oh, it was easy. Also, we've got lots of elderly relatives. And you never know, someone might need a wheelchair in the future. Yeah, we're actually having, I'm trying to work it out in feet for you. It's about 1,000 square feet of paving going down next week. And some lawn. We settled for Kaikuyu because it's a bit hardy. Yes, yep, the ramp was always on our minds because it's access even for kids. You know when kids run downstairs? It's not a good thing to see, but the kids can go down there quite comfortably without much damage. It'd be nice. I'll take 100. I don't know what I'm going to get, but I'll take it. In fact, if someone says you can have 98, I say I'll have that. That'll do. Yeah, strollers, easy. Yes, also good for dogs. You know how dogs will just jump anyway. Well, this is not going to be a trouble. Actually, I was thinking today we should put a garden shed right down the back there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then
I was either that corner or that corner, but...
Well, that's going to all be grass there, so...
Well... Oh, I see, yeah. Because it's how far paving? It's
2
wide.
metres. No, it's a lot wider than that.
It's
It's
wide
the
as
same
the
width.
ramp.
It's the same width that goes down there. That'll be going all the way around.
That way. You mean that way, the width?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, down in that corner would be perfect then, I suppose.
She's going to go and get dressed. You mean you're naked? My heart. My heart. The wind's blowing from a different direction. You hear the ting, 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 ting of the rail crossing. But I tell you what, I mean, it's noticeable for us. We probably hear, without kidding, maybe 80 aircraft a day take off. Next to nothing. Having a coffee in your bathrobe. Ew. On the balcony overlooking the lake, I imagine. Later on tonight I'll look at sheds and see what size we want to put in. Nothing monstrous, you know what I mean, but good size. You're not listening to me, that's okay. I'm used to it. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so basically there's rationing in supermarkets now. Wonder if we get coupons. You can have 2 rashers of bacon, son, and that's it. No. So I'll make up a spaghetti bog tomorrow night. We haven't had one for a while, have we?
No.
Plus the daughter will smell it from her place and say, have you got spaghetti bog? Yes. Actually, we could set that little fridge up tomorrow. Oh, it's 1 and 2 here, Buttercup. 2 packets of pasta, maximum, 1 toilet roll packet.
Having a coffee in the bathrobe.
Oh, it's early morning.
Scarlet.
Yes, I mean, if you go online and you click, I want 4 of those, you go, sorry, you can only have 1.
What's that?
All the supermarkets rationing the amount of food you can buy. Have a good day, Patty.
See you, Patty.
Actually, I did hear this evening that Wales had a fairly large increase today. Went from 40 to 60. So you make sure you hunker down, girl. Yep, we all know. Look, none of the figures are nowhere near the real amount because hardly anyone's getting tested. So multiple of 10 would probably be a better idea on everyone's figures. But if you can avoid it, it'll be good. Yeah, it's going to end. The schools will close shortly. I mean, I'm not having a go at kids, but they're the perfect carrier. It's one of those weird things at the moment that they could bring it home and they'll never get affected by it. But Grandma picks up and says, "Here you go, sweetheart." 2 days later, Grandma's getting very ill, but the child won't get ill. I was reading somewhere that even if a vaccine was available today, it would take 2.5 years to roll out. They couldn't keep up with demand. And Buttercup, for you, I've got a couple of questions. One is, because I've heard nothing, I'm just going to give statistics to work on. Let's say there were 3,000 deaths in China and 70,000 have recovered. What about the other 70,000? No one's talking about, they'll say when they're recovered, other words, they're well again, but what about these people that have had this illness and are now dragging on for a couple of months? There's no talk about how they're going and what's going to happen with them. Yeah, the vaccine, like I say, just logics and logistics. You just couldn't get it out in a short space of time. It would be, this is a major pharmaceutical companies giving this advice, saying if they had it today, distribution alone would be a nightmare. He said, but demand would outstrip supply. So even when a vaccine does come, which could be a year or more away, they couldn't keep up. So my question is, no one is talking about the ones that haven't recovered. What's the average condition of these people? If 70,000 are recovered, but 70,000 haven't, no one's talking about that. Does it leave these people with lingering conditions? Well, they do tell you. They say that in China, 70,000 have recovered. 3,000 have died, and that leaves... They don't talk about it, but that means there's 70,000 that no one's saying anything about. Like, is their recovery still ongoing, or are they just continually ill? That one hasn't been raised. I'm waiting for someone to say, oh yeah, the people that are recovering are having a bit of a hard time, but they look like they're going to eventually come good. But nothing, no one's saying anything.
Yeah, so you mean like the after effects?
Like I say, China had 70,000 recovered. They had 3,000 die, or a bit more. But the figures are totally about 140,000. So what about the other 70,000 that have had it for months? And are they recovering, or are they really struggling? It's all right saying that there's a mortality rate, but what about dispensation for being ill for a long period of time?
And are they weak?
And the other question, Buttercup, because I've never seen anyone say it, after you recover from the virus, has the virus left you?
Yeah, like with pneumonia, because it turns to sort of pneumonia, but it's something else.
Well, it causes pneumonia, and pneumonia can be treated. Like if you get the virus and you get pneumonia, they can treat the pneumonia.
That's right. But
they can't treat the virus that caused it.
And you've had pneumonia twice,
yep.
2 different ones. How did you feel after each one?
Well, actually, the recovery was quite quick when the recovery came, so pretty good. But it took, with the bacterial pneumonia I had it for about a week and a half before they figured out it wasn't a virus, it was a bacterial one. My son had it this year, actually. He was very sick.
That's what I'm saying.
And I recovered, but they do tell you that if you've had pneumonia, your lungs get scarred anyway.
Yeah, they do.
The bit that I'm not getting any answers, and I've searched, Buttercup, is after you have the virus and you recover, is the virus completely gone? No one's talking about that.
Yeah, what are
is it like gone, or is it you may be a carrier? I don't know the answer to it. With a normal flu, you would have a recovery and you'd be fine and you wouldn't pass it on to someone else. But this is not like that. A lot of people are getting a bit confused with this virus and pneumonia. It does weaken the body to the extent it goes from the upper respiratory system to deep inside your lungs, and you may get pneumonia. But you can treat the pneumonia, but you still can't treat the virus that caused it. But I don't hear anyone saying, oh yeah, after you've had this, you're not carrying it anymore, so you can't infect any people. I haven't heard anything about that. Well, there are no assurances being given about it. It's probably more to what I'm saying. You know, if someone from a medical profession, the CDC or whatever, come out and said, yep, definitely after you recover, you don't have the virus at all. That would be good, but I haven't read that anywhere. And going back to that first question I had, Buttercup, the people that are recovering, are they having a lingering virus within their body? Is that what's caused it, or is it just the effects of the virus that, say, cause pneumonia, respiratory problems, and then the virus goes, and then they're getting better, slowly? But don't hear anything about these recovering people.
Yeah, I suppose we could Google it, and if not...
I have.
Yeah. Okay.
I typed in recovering from virus, or specific virus.
Yeah, didn't come up with anything.
No, it just said some people have recovered.
So do a video and send it to the news. Exactly what you just
Well,
said.
I know, but I mean, surely you would think by now someone will be coming out saying, yes, some people are taking a long time to recover from the effects,
Yeah,
but they no longer have the virus.
Yeah, they could be
Just
weak.
the effects of the virus has caused other problems.
Well, that could take a while to come up with that diagnosis because, like you say, could still be in their system a little bit, but it might be another 2 weeks after that before it goes.
Well, I do know if an older person, say 80, gets the flu, and let's say it's bacterial and they need antibiotics, and they obviously have other conditions. So what I mean is that may be a reason for a very slow recovery. But no one's saying that. Oops, I missed what Buttercup just said. It came and went. The thing is, they're all coronaviruses. There were 6 confirmed, but now this is number 7. And even though they can be traced and linked, they are all different. It's like, the truth is, Ebola is a deadly virus. It is terrible, but it's pretty hard to catch compared to this thing. It's just all the unknowns. All we're getting on the news is so many people died. Maybe they'll say so many people recovered, but they say absolutely nothing about those people in the middle. Hello, Dave. The thing is, I suppose the main question that I would like answered is that after you have this virus, are you immune to it? Again, no, I haven't heard anything about that. Because I'm pretty sure I read last week a Japanese lady had it, recovered, confirmed, recovered, then got it again. That's my point. I think the answer is they don't know. That's what I think the answer is. They're not sure. After you have it, are you likely to be a carrier? Don't know. How you going, Tony? All right? But yeah, so a lot of unanswered questions, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to have brought this up. But what happens to the recovering people when you have it? Do you no longer can get it? Are you going to be immune to it? Or does it leave your body? Or are you likely to pass it on even though you're better to someone else? These questions haven't been answered. Yeah, I think there's studies definitely going on, but I think the main study that's more important is if you recover, has the virus completely left your system? You're recovered, which means you're now immune,
But could you still
but
spread
could
it?
you still pass it on? And I don't.
Training.
It's spitting, but we'll take it. I think people need to be aware that because there are so many unknowns, it is time to hunker down. Might just do a series of cooking videos called Hunker Down Cooking. Pull out the packet of instant pasta, add the water, yeah, look out the window, no, we're still safe. That's the point, because there are some viruses well known that you can still, in fact you can never ever get sick, but you do carry.
Like
You're
chickenpox.
asymptomatic.
Oh, that's not a virus.
Well, it is really, yeah.
Yeah. Well, chickenpox is one.
But it's like so many unknowns, and no one's maybe had enough time to give us the answers. But
Yeah.
I think if you just basically try and protect yourself. I think the figures all around the globe, because there's not been a lot of testing. In Australia, to give you an idea, they have set up, in my state, 3 main hospitals with a separate wing in each for people who think they may have it. So they go in, they're tested, they go home and told not to go anywhere. And when they get the results back, either positive or negative, they then can do either 1, be admitted to a hospital, 2, you're all good to go. Because it's uncertain, there have probably been about 1,000 people tested in the last couple of days, and they found 3. So, yeah, it's out there. Does it affect everybody differently? That's the weird thing about this virus. Underlying medical conditions varying, but it's like some people don't even have any effects from it. Well, we do know that when you have a virus, and eventually if your body can fight it off naturally, well, you won't get sick from that virus again. But it doesn't mean it's left your body. Yeah, there's lots of people, remedies online coming up with all sorts of crazy things. I think one I saw was eat 12-pack of Krispy Kremes, guaranteed to put a smile on your face and get rid of the virus. Well, no, probably put a smile on your face, but sadly, there's a lot of wackos out there that people might even follow. It's like people with a suppressed immune system. It's just a worry. You know, you're susceptible for the common cold, let's be honest. When I had bacterial pneumonia, I nearly went to the other side. It was that bad.
Yeah, that was the second time, wasn't it?
Yeah. Hardly breathe. Couldn't eat. But there's an old adage that my grandparents taught me, is that you feed a cold and you starve a fever. So when you do get a fever, your body, you naturally don't really feel like eating anyway. But they say to starve it, let the body do its job. Yep, I've heard that. Look, there are well-known man-made viruses, well-known, and some have been created to control or kill a species. I'll give you a great example. Myxomatosis is a virus that was introduced to rabbits in Australia. Now, it worked for about 8 years, but now the rabbits are immune to it. So what it means after generations, and rabbits have lots of generations, they figured it out in their own DNA and composite genomes that they can stop it, can't kill them anymore.
And then they brought out another one. What's the other one?
Oh, there's all sorts. I'm saying that's just one example. There's one that a virus that you may not know of, the Australian called Tasmanian devil. Looks like a very large rat, is the best way to describe it. And they're quite vicious, actually. Big claws, big teeth. But they, in one part of the country, suffer really badly from a virus, which has killed about 90% of the population. There are pockets of them that have been well looked after that haven't got it. But it's a-specific for the Tasmanian devil. No other animal gets it.
No, and
it's just a-specific for that species.
It creates massive tumours around their mouth.
Yep, the skin falls off. It's a terrible thing to see. And foxes get a disease, I forget what it's called, and they can end up really skinny and the liver fails, but it's a virus. Like I say, I'd like to see a study of people who have had it and recovered. I'd like volunteers to come through each week and have blood tests. Yeah.
That's his song now, is it?
You feeling lucky, punk? Well, are you? Yeah, and that'd be said. Just shut everything down for a month. Watch old movies. make a garden. Certainly go out, go to the beach. Make sure you're there by yourself with maybe your family. Have a good time. Shut down the bloody stock exchange. Greedy bastards.
No, what? There's just hello mystic today. No, hello gorgeous mystic. Hello
Yeah, no.
beautiful mystic.
No,
Today
you've had your treat for the week.
Yeah.
Don't push it.
it's just hello mystic. Jeez, I'm devastated.
Bulging Grinjo. Grinjo. Well, in this country, they're looking after working people, Buttercup. If you're let's say you're a painter and you earn less than $250,000 a year, the government is going to give you $25,000 over 3 months to not work. Okay, that's what's been implemented here. Every Australian is now receiving $750 each from the government. It's going in their banks. Small businesses are being catered for with what I just said. Big businesses who have to lay off staff because they're closing are given assurances that they will assist with startup. In other words, these people that used to work for them will get benefits straight away. No qualifying, they'll get looked after. No, we never do that here. In 2008, most Australians got up to $3,000 each for the GFC. We never bailed out a single bank. They don't need bailing out. Give you an idea, let's say there's a dozen pickers on a cucumber farm in Australia. Just give you an example. And one of them falls sick. Well, because they're already in sort of a separate place anyway, because they always go and stay on the property for 2 or 3 months. That's how it works. That one person will be taken away, and that one person will receive the same wage as if he was working. The rest will keep working, and if they fall ill again, well, they'll do the same thing. I'm pretty sure you'll see something, old Ringo. I think there's got to be something going in the pockets of Americans, even if it's just a few $100s, because an economy only exists on public spending. That's how it works. People might think that it's the big companies that if people are not spending money, people aren't buying cars, going on holiday, staying in hotels. Airlines around the globe have kept basically a third of their planes in the air, and that's dropping. We live not too far from an airport, and in the distance we get to see them take off. And instead of 80 a day, it's like 8. It's really crashed. I mean, you can get airline tickets domestically for giveaway money. I can fly to Sydney and back here, which is 5,000 kilometres away, for about $120. The normal price is about 500 to 600. Idle planes don't make money. And they don't need to close restaurants here. I mean, no one's going to them. Yep, that's the same story, Buttercup. That's the old saying, feed a cold and starve a fever. You need your immune system to fight without the complications of any food going in your body. Hello, Box. Oh, look, I think British Airlines will probably ground at least 2/3 of their fleet. Domestic travel has just dropped completely off. You can't. One of the ironies that the rules at the moment, there's a major sporting season kicks off right now. Basketball, football, soccer, all the big ones. And the games are still going to be played with absolutely no crowds. They locked the doors, just the players. Now, they played cricket, Australia versus New Zealand, for the last week. They only played 2 games. And then because New Zealand is going to shut its borders, the New Zealand cricketers hopped on a plane and went home. But if everyone could just agree to shut everything down for a month, at least we could suppress this damn thing. Yeah, just televised, old gringo. I mean, normal games of AFL footy here, you get 80,000 rock up to a game. We have huge stadiums, and they're full, but there'll be no one in there. It'll be a weird thing being a player, because normally if you pick up the ball, run towards the goal, shoot, the crowd's going, ah, all they're going to hear is, ah, ah. So it'll be a tough few months, because this is not going to stop in a couple of months. You know, the rotation depends on where it's expanded on the planet. It looks a minimum of 3 months. The revolution will not be televised. Yep, that could be the case. Well, that'll probably change, Buttercup. I think there is going to be lockdowns everywhere. It's terrible in Italy at the moment. They're peaking at 250 more people passed away today alone. That is staggering. Gil Scott Heron. But hopefully, like I say, I said this the other night, I think we'll see some of the great things of humanity come out, along with some of the not so great, but I think we have a lot of people doing a lot of things to help each other, which is good. This is just like a war in many aspects. And if people aren't working, obviously your supply lines start to dry up. You know, if you close a factory making baked beans, for example, well, they might make a million tins of baked beans a day, and they might have a warehouse for about 3 weeks because they can't fit any more in there. But if no one's working there, other than dispatch, nothing's being produced. It's one of those balancing acts. Do you go to work or don't you go to work? But all around the globe, people have been panic buying food and everything. Well, I do know some of the reports from Italy are that people did not take it seriously at all. Yeah, I mean, what'll happen, Box, you're quite correct. When this is all settled down, my goodness, there'll be jobs everywhere. But it's very likely the schools will be closed this coming week. I mean, I agree with it. I agree shutting everything down. I think it's the easiest policy. Literally, do nothing and just live off what you got. Most people have got months worth of food in their house, easily. And you can get deliveries. All your schools closed. Yeah, we'll be following suit real soon. It's just got to be done. I mean, if they're saying no one should go to sporting grounds at all and they're locking the gates, there's no one that should be going to school. Some of our schools have 1,000 students. And it's a great breeding ground. Look, most of the colds and flus you get in your family come from kids or grandkids. That's just a well-known fact, because someone has a cold at school, out of 100 people, 80 will get it. And then they'll go home to their parents, another 160 will get that. Grandparents will say good day to their friends, they'll get it. That's how it works. The common cold in particular is spread just as easily as this virus. There's no point doing half measures, is what I'm saying. There's no point saying you can't go to a sporting event to watch, but you can send your kids to school. That's just silly. So that will unfold very quickly. I feel sorry, and I went down and spoke to centre management at one of the supermarkets here, and I said, if you've got any influence at all, the checkout chicks in particular, and shop owners in the complex, I said, can you supply or get someone to supply masks and gloves for these people? A checkout chick may see 800 people in a day. So it's like playing lotto. Why not give them a box of surgical gloves and a couple of masks and just be done with it, so they've got some form of protection? Because people in Australia still pay, probably 1 in 10 still pay with cash. So they're taking it out their wallet and they're giving it to the person. She puts the money in the till, gives them a receipt, and scratches their nose. And he said it's a great idea, so he's going to pass it on. No one's thinking about these people in the supermarkets. They have thousands of people coming to the shop every day. And if you've ever been to a supermarket and you put your goods through, you're only about 2 feet away from the girl. One cough, one sneeze. So I hope something happens, because no one's offering them any protection. You can tell how much fresh produce eat by people because the shelves are empty of processed goods and all the fresh food in the world sitting there. I hear the tinkle tinkle of light rain. Sorry if I'm drifting off. It's a sound we haven't heard for a long time. I did hear, and this is only rumour, but it was online and someone said this is what they heard, so I'm not telling you this is a fact. But it's likely the homeless, people, vagrants, people sleeping in their cars, will be taken somewhere of safety, because these people sleep at Walmart, in car parks, and they're always in the public, and they are more susceptible to catching this virus. So it's likely, and you can put your alarm bells up, FEMA camp type situations where they're fed, looked after, because they also would be a contagion. If you've got some person in a van, they go into 100 shops in a week and they have the virus. So it's likely. Hello, Danny. But no one seems to be thinking of these people in the supermarket, like the checkout chicks. Why haven't they been offered at least to wear a mask or surgical gloves? You can buy 100 surgical gloves for about $6 here. They're not expensive. And yes, after you wear them a while, you have to take them off because your hands sweat. But protocols, and just like Danny's the same, protocols now is there's only certain entrances into hospitals. There's not 4 or 5 anymore, it's just 1 or 2. And they're manned, and you will be disinfected, even if you're just coming there for some other reason. And that's the procedure. It's like a triage now in all hospitals here. I agree, Box. You've got to make the best out of each sunrise. I'm always up before the sun. Always have been for a very long time. I enjoy the morning. It's the best part of the day. Summer or winter, it's the best part. Sun comes up, birds twitter, there's movement at the station. And if you get up early enough, you get your work done fairly early, and then you can enjoy the rest of the day. That's my principle, I'm sticking to it. I know Box gets up early, and like me, you don't go to bed till the work's done. That's good, Danny. But the only reason that 51 have been found is because they were tested. And I'm not being an alarmist, but you could multiply that by 10 easily. Yes, of course. Yep, we allow links like that. It's of public interest. Just leave it up for about a minute, Buttercup, and then just get rid of it. That's how we normally do it. Do you want to just go to that link so we can save it?
Okay. Give me 1 sec.
Fanny. Do, 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 do.
Right, I've sent it to your WhatsApp.
Cool.
Done. Butty.
Information is always good. You can take any information with a grain of salt if you like, but something might ring true with you. Okay, I'll show you. I know this is not exciting, but we had a ramp finished today, so I will show you. There's the ramp. It'll drift off into the darkness now, of course, but it goes all the way down. And that was very helpful today when we were actually emptying the shed, wasn't it?
Everyone's calling Buttercup Butty now.
I shall remain to call her Buttercup. I want to remember her just as she was.
No, she's getting butty. Gee, that was quick. Did they see the rain as well?
No, it's like you saying you can see the wind. It's dark. We spent about 12 hours on the window in the office, took it back to timber, took forever, and then we've applied an oil, 2 or 3 coats of oil on it. Yeah, it looks good, Box. And next week we get 1,000 square feet of paving done around the yard, along with some grass going in. It'll take the desert look away from the place. I'm going to make 4 big garden beds, prep an area for fruit trees. Thank you, Danny. Just enough lawn for you to do with the electric lawnmower when you get here. Take 10 minutes, no problem. I'll cook your bacon and eggs and reward. Actually, we've had electric mowers before. One we had a couple of years ago was a beauty, wasn't it?
What's that?
The electric lawnmower.
Yeah.
Powered by solar, had a separate battery and a panel just for the lawnmower. Worked a treat. Never had to pay for any energy other than pushing it. Yeah, I used a push mower years ago. With electric one. I mean, because if you mow every couple of weeks, you don't have much effort in mowing, and it takes no time to do it. So when you let it get long and hairy, then you have a problem. Oh, I see. Just well, you haven't got a swimming pool then too, Buttercup. Well, you don't save a lot of money when you don't have a petrol lawnmower, but it doesn't cost you anything. And it's just a simple setup. Anchors. What's an anchor? You mean acres? Okay, I'm thinking, what the hell is an anchor? I've got 350 anchors. They're like a cross between a sheep and a cow. Nasty little buggers. That's why we call them anchors. Oh, I knew what you meant in the end, but I'm thinking I didn't know what an anchor was at first. There's some wild animals out there. Mind you, when I type on my phone when I'm in a room, it's like, I didn't spell that way. It's weird. Yeah, this handy, there's a bit of steep area in our front yard. It helps tremendously. Yeah. I had one of them years ago and my son said, can I have a go? I had to go and chase the lawnmower down, didn't I? Because he locked it in and off it went down the paddock. With the words of a 10-year-old boy saying, I couldn't stop it. Just the tinker of the rain on the tin roof of the shed. Nice sound. Like a meditation video. But it is only tinker, there's no rain. Yep, hopefully one day those hours won't exist for you, old ringer. Put in the hard yards now, and then you can put your feet up. No doubt, hard work equals reward. That's it. Okay, sounds good, Buttercup. It's that time of the year where the buds, the darling buds of May, are firing up. You're not working today, Danny? Saturday? Surely you get a day off every now and then. I've got a friend over in the bush who runs everything, and I mean everything he runs on his property, because he goes to fish and chip shops, gets all their old oil. I kid you not. Been doing it for about 20 years. His old Massey Ferguson does smell like a fish and chip shop, but it gets the job done. He paints all his posts with the same oil. Cool. Enjoy the long weekend, because it seems like a long weekend. I imagine 2 days off. I know years ago when we had a shortage of officers where I worked, I had this rule: you couldn't work more than 6 days. But when there was a shortage of officers, they're quite happy for you to work 28 days straight, 30 days straight. They said, under emergency, we can do this. I'm saying, yeah, but when I request to do another one, you say no. Oh, different circumstance. But doing overtime is a pain in the arse. You do one, you make good money, about $400. Do two, you make about 200 out the next day. Do three, you lose money. So in the end you say, well, I'm not working 3 because I'm working for nothing. I'm getting more tax and I don't keep any money. All right, Box, you have a great day, mate. Must be starting to get a little look at that thaw coming shortly. And them slushy road videos, I'm sure you'll do one. It's like you're skiing on the road sometimes at this time of the year.
Alright, see you, Box. Sorry, I don't mean to be ignoring everyone, but I'm just trying to organise. My daughter's getting rid of a bed, a loft bed, When you put something up for free on your local site, it goes nuts with messages.
Take care, box.
Okay, I'm here.
She's here now.
So who's still here? I'll say goodbye to Box.
But I'll be putting some medicine in my spaghetti bog tomorrow night, which is garlic, onions, a bit of chilli. Yeah, just don't go to work, Dave. Simple.
And he's got a day off. That's good.
2 days off.
2 days off.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's enough time to fly here and go back.
Yep. Oh, no, that'd be like turn around. So
Ah,
we'd
she'll
get
have 8 hours here.
should be like a zombie. Oh, Buttercup, when I was doing the shed, oh my God, the damn fuzzy, furry caterpillars everywhere.
Look like a scene from Doctor Who.
It was scary. Oh, I think I've got 1 or 2 boxes that possibly have some in it.
And here's the wife's comment. We spoke about this for a few days. I said, you just decide where you want to put things.
I did.
And
You
let me know.
changed
She
it.
said, no. Every time you lifted up a box, you said, where are you going to put that? I said, where do you want me to put it?
And I said the office, everything in the office initially in the middle, but then you put it all in the middle of the lounge.
Because it's more practical.
Well, why did you ask me then?
Because you wouldn't tell me where to put things.
I did. I just have
Yeah.
domestic, everybody. Please
Yes, dear.
join in. Feel free. Feel free to ding the bell or take sides, which of course will be mine.
Now, these furry caterpillars are what we call spitfires, and if they get on you, you itch. So
Actually, I
you
had.
don't want that.
That's why I was starting to itch. They were dead, buddy. They were all dead. So obviously, I think the heat in being in the shed killed them.
No, I think during these times in particular, Dave, that they'd have a case to answer for. Might get a little bit more tinkle. Be nice.
Yeah.
Birds won't know what to do in the morning. Wet trees. They'll fall off, slip. Wasn't that bad though, Buttercup, I'll be honest. It was pretty good. The boxes were dusty, but not no mice and rodents and things
Well,
like that.
There was one redback which we got. There was another weird black spider which I got. Daddy longlegs which don't bother me.
No, they're good to go.
When we'd emptied everything out, there's just 4 big items left, that's all. I saw 1 mouse, but that'd be from next door because he's got chooks. But it's these caterpillars were dead. They had spun this, webby.
It's like a web they make, yeah.
Yeah, like a webby thing. I think they got in there just before our summer started, and I reckon the heat in the shed during summer it just killed them. Oh, you've got a loft. Oh, that's spooky. You've got to film that, buddy. Buddy. You must film that. Go in and do a most haunted.
Put on a big coat, stand out the front of your house. Tonight on Most Buttered.
Well, that's cool that you got a loft. I mean, I don't like lofts, but I know it's strange because they're spooky.
Yeah, it's shutting down here real fast. No one's going to restaurants. Hardly anyone's going to a pub. Everyone is sort of imposing a lockdown on themselves without the government asking. I was a bit annoyed. When I was an officer, they were going to give us 13 days sick leave a year, and I was never off work. So over 7 years, I had 91 sick days, which is worth about $400 a day. And just before I left, they were talking about if you want to, you can take your sick day in payment. And I thought, good, and it didn't happen before I left. So it was 36 to 40 grand I never got. Yeah, just grab that, Dave. We don't really want to know where you work. Don't want anyone using it against you. Just remove that comment if you would, please.
What is that?
I put the name of the casino in there. Just
yeah.
remove that, please, Dave. Thank you. You know what people are like online. Thank you. So spaghetti bogged. I'm looking forward to that. Actually, I saw you bought some mushrooms.
Yeah.
Want me to put them in the bog?
Yeah, half of them, not all of them.
Why? What are you going to do with the other half?
Because there might be veggies or something.
All right.
You know, the...
Sounds good.
I don't know, just half. Don't use them all. It's okay.
It's funny, at the schools here, they've said they can still go to school, but they can't hold any assemblies. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. But half a dozen schools already closed down voluntarily without permission. They said, no, kids can go home. But that will be this week, for certain. I'll be honest with you, it's good to do so, but you're better off freezing, blanching and freezing buttercup. In a normal size freezer, you could probably have 10 to 15 kilo of frozen veg. There's nothing wrong with dehydrated, don't get me wrong. If you go through 10 or 15, like if you cut your carrots up, all I use is a big pot with salt water, boiling, put the veggies in there for about a minute, take them out, cool them down, let them cool down, and then I bag them up, chuck them in the freezer. Things like capsicums, onions, chilies, you don't have to do anything, you just put them in a bag, chuck them in the freezer. I mean, chopped up, you do, but you don't need to blanch them.
See, a hard thing is, Danny, isn't it, with schools closing, it's a hard call, isn't it, because of people who work, are people going to sort of stay home more for that time, or are they going to take their kids everywhere because the kids are bored? Do you know what I mean, Danny? Like, so daycares and everything?
I bought a couple of kilos of mince and I've split it into 500 gram bags. So I've got 4 of them in the freezer. And I flatten out my mint so it's like a big pancake. Freezes and it thaws quicker that way. And I bought about 3 kilo chuck steak, made up about 5 or 6 bags of that. We're good for a month on that. Yeah, things that are really easy to keep, Buttercup, are things like butternut pumpkins or jarrahdale or something similar to those, because if you just have the pumpkin sitting in the cupboard, it'll keep for a year. Trust me, I've done it before. Butternut in particular is a very good pumpkin to keep for a long period of time. Don't need a root cellar, just a cupboard in the dark. Smaller squash with a thinner skin's a bit hard to keep. Carrots, well, if you've got a garden, you just take out what you need, but in your case, just chop them up the way you like them, blanch them, freeze them. But the butternut, I did it for a couple of years, I tested. They lasted for well over a year, and they were just as good as when they come off the vine. There's one thing I see in that, Danny, in the future, is that companies that are doing it now and telling their staff to work from home, it's going to be the norm. In other words, this is for a different reason now. But it's very cost effective to have your staff work from home. It's easy enough to check what they've been doing, and you don't have to pay for office space. So it may actually be a big trend after this, where maybe only half the workforce goes back to the building and the other half permanently stay at home, may come in for meetings once a month or something like that. But that's what I see the trend happening after this.
We could call you a butty nut. She's going to have all these nicknames.
I shall call her Buttercup.
Because she's playing butternut squash. Oh dear.
There's actually a pumpkin called Buttercup.
Is there?
Mm-hmm. Buttercup pumpkin. It's a small pumpkin.
I thought it was butternut.
No, there's all sorts of different squashes. Hundreds of varieties. Butternut. Yeah, it's not on everyone's palate though, daisies. The most effective vegetable, if you were ever in a survival situation, is the pumpkin seed. You can eat the pumpkin seed itself, or you can literally keep pumpkin seeds for 1,000 years and then plant them. They are the perfect module of a seed. And you can make pumpkin fries, mashed pumpkin, pumpkin soup, endless. Potatoes, however, if times got tough and you had a bad crop, and you had no potatoes, no one around you's got potatoes, you can always pull out your pumpkin seeds, can't you? I love roast pumpkin. I eat skin and all. I love it.
And sweet potatoes,
Yeah.
yams, whatever people call them. Mashed pumpkin and mashed sweet potato together.
Yep.
With a little bit of nutmeg in it. Yum. That's something when we move everything. We'll have to check use by dates on everything.
A good size of lumber to use is 200 by 50 mil. To make 200 is only 8 inches, but that's enough depth. That's good. Higher the better, but 200 is good enough. And you can grow whatever you like in that, and that shouldn't cost you a great deal. Normally, if you get them about 8 foot or 2.4 metres, and then you cut one in half, and that's 4 feet. So you've got 8 by 4, just with 3 planks. course, nail them together. Put a little corner quad in there to build up the strength, but if you go to the hardware store or ask online, it's called a quarter mount, which is, imagine a piece of timber and you cut a 45-degree angle on it, so it's like a wedge, best way to describe it to you, and you just run it down the whole length of those boards. You can nail the boards together as they are, and then you can put the quarter in there in each corner, and that'll be good to go. You just nail that to it. It's a brace, basically. Oh, in the bush in Australia, there's heaps of bush tucker. And the Aboriginals have survived for 50,000 years on it, so lots of yams, different types of yams. I think you can even buy what I just suggested in a kit form. Maybe your son can give you a hand to knock them up. If you had only 2 8x4 foot garden beds, that's enough for you, Buttercup, seriously, for the seasonal change. Beans, tomatoes, onions, garlic, lettuce, and you can, what we call push plant, you can put a lot in a small box. Look, I'm down to 10% power. Better go and get my, oh, actually we might close it down, I think. What do you reckon? Yeah. We're getting tired, work's hard. Good people, I hope you have a great day, whatever you do. Danny's got 2 days off. I might go to bed and call her, hello Danny. My old friend,
Oh, God.
I've come to sash wash you again. Good little planters, if you can get them, are half barrels of wine. You know, the ones they cut up. That's a good size. All right, have a great day. We'll get the goodbyes happening. That's it. You look tired, actually.
Oh, I've been up since 4.
So sorry. Well, we're going too, Danny, so we're leaving before you.
Oh, yeah, leaving same time.
Yeah. I'll call you later. How's it go?
It's for Charlie.
I'll call you. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you real soon. Take care. Be careful.